Testing, 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 test, 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 testing, testing, test, 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 testing, test ickles, a test ickles. Welcome everyone to episode 735 of the Daily Mother Swole, the most muscular Swolecast, Beardcast, Broadcast, Gaincast, Mancast, Taintcast. I'm just gonna say Nipplecast if I didn't say that already. In the realm, because I flex, you flex, we all pinch our nips. I mean, we all we all flex our biceps. Apologies. My goodness. Welcome everyone to episode 745. Yesterday was Squirty 4, and tomorrow will be Squirty 6. So welcome on a Friday, on a Freya's day, whatever Viking-ish you want to deal with. I'm gonna bring the hammer today. That's for damn sure. So welcome everyone. If you're catching it on a Friday's Eve, which you probably are if you're watching, because it's Friday evening and that's how the fuck it works. And I think we should be blowing up this episode. I think it should be absolutely huge. I think it should be very packed. I think there should be a lot of heads in here. And we're going to talk some cardio today. I'm going to literally rip cardio a new asshole and just pretty much knock on it the entire time. So if you don't want to watch the rest of this episode and you love cardio and you get offended and you're like, oh my God, I love cardio. Cardio is the only way to get in shape. Then you can go, because no, that's not correct. And yeah, I'll do what I want. I'll do what I want, bitch. I do what I want. Hail the Hammer Kingsman. What's going on? Coondog, what up, homie? Let's take some comments first. So drop some comments, drop some biceps, and what are you doing right now? Right? We did this yesterday. I thought that was pretty funny. What are you doing right now? If you're pooping, drop a poop emoji. If you are driving, well, if you're driving, you shouldn't be fucking doing anything, let alone texting an emoji. But if you're like at a light or something, make sure you put like, you're in a car, but do it when you're safe or parked or something like that. But you're working, you're in business, use the appropriate emoji for what you're doing right now. If you're working out, throw a bicep up there. Why not? Why the fuck not? But welcome everyone to 735. Come on in. Welcome to the Quadcast live on Twitch, twitch.tv/Swolenormous, or just download the Twitch app. Super high quality audio and picture. So if you get frustrated for whatever reason with the other platforms, or they're too noisy, or too many people know your name and blah, 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 go download Twitch. It's fucking fire. And Papa Swole is over there, Swolenormous. So hit me up. And Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook, and also the podcast on SoundCloud and Apple Podcast. So welcome to the Gain Train. We're going to ram fists in orifices all the way up to the elbows. Hell yeah, tacos. Who put tacos? So someone's eating taco. What are you doing right now? Tacos. Someone put coffee. Someone put working. Someone put poop. I got a cell phone here. Let's see what else we got. Glad you're on. Kids cartoons are getting old. Damn, you're watching kids cartoons on a Friday. I thought they played those. Saturday morning. I thought cartoons, the throwbacks, were Saturday morning. Tony Wood just walked in from getting Little Raven from school. Is that your? Wow, that's an intense name. All right, so fam, let's get started. Let's go. Let's bash on some cardio. So how much cardio are you all doing? Do we have any cardio junkies? Do we have any cardio junkies out there? I've been telling people this. I only run 5 minutes on the mill to get my heart rate. Okay, so we already got another. We'll call ourselves cardiists, like racists, but cardiists. We're against cardios once a week. So let's just jump right into it, because I'm not going to spend a lot of your time on a Friday. We're just going to hammer this and get it done. Because one, I'm fucking hungry, and two, I'm raging on some awesome fucking content. And I got shit to do. Yo. I can't be fucking here every fucking day just talking to you jabronis. Just, oh, Daily Swole. Oh, Papa Swole is going to rage. I got to do this every day. I have to be here every day for you. Jeez. I'm just kidding. I love you. I love you podcast peeps too. So cardio. All right. Here's the deal with cardio. First off, all of you that think, okay, first off, it's one of the many things that's wrong with the fitness industry. It's one of the many things that's wrong. Many, 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 many things. One of the many, many things that's wrong. So we've ad nauseum gone over supplements. We talk about diet plans, right? And food and just all that fucking shit. But what we haven't talked about really a lot, well, I shouldn't say we haven't talked, but what we what goes in that same bucket, right? What goes in that same pile is cardio. And where cardio came from, it's from the 80s, the 1980s, when the aerobics passion fever came out. Richard Simmons and Jim Fitz or Fix or whatever the hell his name was, the guy that had a heart attack that really coined the term aerobics and made that popular. But group exercise classes and all that shit really blew up and everyone was doing cardio. And the reason why, here's a couple reasons why people do cardio. I'm not talking about anyone that goes to extremes, but people do cardio because it's easy, essentially. People do cardio because it's easy. And I'm going to explain why that's true and why that's the case, because it's an adaptation. It's a human adaptive reaction. So the way the human body works is the path of least resistance. So we talk about evolution and adaptation a lot on this show. And the way the human body works is the path of least resistance. So evolution and adaptation is going to follow the path of least resistance. It's not going to go uphill when it can go downhill. A river, for example, will not go uphill unless there's some other, forces at work here, like the Nile River or something like that, right? But what we're talking about is, north to south, we talk about that, but we're talking about actual gravity. So obviously water doesn't run uphill. That's why they call it, downstream. The flow goes down a mountain, down a hillside. Same thing with human beings. Okay. We don't go uphill if we can go downhill, just the way we evolve. So the reason why it's so hard to build muscle or to lose fat is because that's our equivalent of an uphill. That's a human being. That's a human equivalent of an uphill is the, is building muscle or losing fat. That's going uphill. That's not what the human body wants to do. That's not what human beings want to do, is to go against the grain. That's what the human body doesn't want to do. And that's why it's challenging. That's why it's challenging, because the body doesn't want to do it. So it's hard because it's something the body has to get rid of. It has to change habits. It has to build muscle. It has to do work. The reason why people do cardio is because cardio is fucking easy. And it does not mean that you haven't gotten exhausted doing cardio. Doesn't mean you haven't gotten tired doing cardio. What it means is the body adapts to cardiovascular activity. The body adapts very well. That is why you see mechanics. You see people that clean houses. You'll see people that work on roofs. You see construction workers. You see all these different people that work highly in, you would say laborious jobs, right? You're doing physical labor. So float some hearts or some thumbs, and of course, if you're in one of those hard laborious jobs, thank you for essentially your service, because, jobs have to get done and they're not always easy. So I'm not saying easy versus hard. That's another thing. I'm not saying easy versus hard. What I am saying is easy to be adapted by the body. And easy to be adapted by the body makes it feel easy as a human being. We perceive that as easy because it's easy for the body to adapt. When it's really challenging to adapt and it's really stressful, thus like a heavy resistance workout or something extremely strenuous, we don't adapt to that as easy because it's extremely challenging. We sometimes get hurt because the force is too much and too exhaustive, right? When it's too much, we can get hurt. And the reason why we do cardio, or I guess we're attracted to cardio, or we were attracted at the beginning, is because the body adapts very well to that kind of constant exposure to activity, especially low levels of intensity. Now, when you're cleaning a house, you're not going extremely hard all the time. When you're doing construction, you're not going extremely hard all the time. When you're a mechanic, you're not going extremely hard all the time. When you're doing these, laborious jobs, but they're at a low intensity throughout the entire day, you're always working, but you're working at an intensity, and even intensity, your body will adapt. Your body will adapt, and then it will get easy. That's why those of you that work some of these jobs, you're wondering, yeah, but I'm very active. When you send me messages and you tell me how active you are with your kids and you run around, doesn't mean shit. It doesn't mean fucking shit. I don't care if you have 5 kids. No, you're running around all day. No, you're not. You're not running around. You're not exercising. You're moving. You're living your life. You're moving as a human being. That's not going to shred you up and lose extra body fat. Okay. Don't get the two things twisted. I don't care if you have children and you're busy in the fucking car. The way we talk about running around all day is you going into a store, coming out, getting in the car, getting your kids strapped in, and then driving somewhere else, and then going in and going out. You're busy. You're mentally busy. You're mentally running around. You're not physically running around. If you're physically running around, you're playing with your kids a little bit, but it's still not going to shred you up. It's not going to give you a body that you want. Like, what the fuck do you think is going to happen? So right away, cardio is just essentially adaptive activity. So the same thing applies when you go to a gym or a fitness center and you go running and you go on a treadmill or an elliptical or a step mill. You go on these things and your body adapts to them because that's low levels of intensity for a longer period of time. Now, some of you are asking about sprints and stuff. Okay, that might metabolize some more fats, but what are you trying to achieve? If you're trying to lose weight, or you're trying to build a physique, or you're trying to, tire yourself out or go more into epoch, most people throw around these fucking phrases and HIIT or interval sprints. Most people don't know what the fucking interval sprint is. Oh, you walk and you rest. You don't know what it does in the body. Okay. That's the problem with shit like CrossFit and all these different exercise regimens and group exercise classes is they use these terms, but everyone just like latches onto it because they find it entertaining. And wow, I found some fitness thing that keeps me interested. Doesn't mean it's working. Doesn't mean it's giving you exactly what you want. Doesn't mean it's using the science. I remember when CrossFit, even like a few years ago, they had incorrect information about exercise science on their fucking on their webpage. They had the wrong information. Their numbers were wrong when they were talking about energy systems on their fucking main homepage. I don't remember the details of what that was, so don't quote me on the actual numbers, but I remember they didn't have their ranges right. I'm like, wow, good job, CrossFit. Good job, HQ. So if you're in one of these laborious jobs and you're having issues losing weight, let's talk about why. Why do you think that's happening? Why do you think that's happening? It's because your body adapts to it easily. Your body adapts to it easily. Your body does not need to change. Your body gets to the point where it can metabolize fats, it can oxidize fats very well, and it can achieve that task by minimally utilizing stored energy. Remember, yesterday we were talking about belly fat, and I told you that having extra body fat is like having money in the bank. So if you have money in the bank, you don't want to spend it. And if you have bills, essentially when you do cardio, your body is budgeting. Your body is using only as much money as it needs to get the job done. So it's like, instead of, if you only have a certain amount of money, you're not buying a BMW, you might be buying a Toyota. Nothing wrong with that, but you're saving money by not splurging on brand name stuff, right? You're saving a little bit more money. That's what cardio does. It gets you from point A to point B, or you take the fucking bus and you're saving more money and you're still getting from A to B. So your body is budgeting. Your body budgets with cardio, and you're able to do the same activity the same way regularly and not metabolize more fats and not lose weight or not change and not improve your physique. How do I know this? Have you been to a gym lately? Every day I go to the gym, I see the same people on the cardio machines. They look the same. I really feel like anyone that's ever on a cardio machine probably doesn't change at all, even if they do weights. Anyone that I ever see on a treadmill or on an elliptical, even if they are in the weight section at some point, when I see them all the time on a treadmill, these are the people that they never look any different. They never look any different. I think it just creates a mentality of the same, the same, the same. The body just gets fucking bored. Like it starts ignoring the weights. Like, all right, well, I'm not going to change because this person keeps on fucking doing cardio. So fuck your biceps. That's what it feels like. But the cardio is not going to give you a physique. It's not going to shred you up. And the proof is in the pudding. The proof is in the people that are on the treadmills for 2 years, 4 years, 5 years and don't change and don't lose any weight and struggle or hit a plateau. If you're 300 pounds and you start going on elliptical, you might lose 100 pounds, but you're going to plateau, and you're going to plateau hard. I don't know if it's going to be at 200. I don't know if it's going to be at 250. I don't know if it's going to be at whatever, but you're going to hit that plateau at some point. And if you're not lifting weights, of course, you're going to be just a soft bag of flesh, and you're going to have extra skin. You're not going to be happy, and you're going to have all these different struggles. So when I say cardio doesn't work, okay, what does cardio do? Cardio is like CrossFit. It gets you better at CrossFit. Cardio gets you better at cardio. Is it good for your heart? Sure. I mean, do we know how good? I mean, any muscle that works or that gets stressed is beneficial. But newsflash, people, your heart's also working when you're lifting weights. I don't know why this goes and gets, shoved under a table, as if when you're lifting weights, you're not challenging your heart and your cardiovascular system. Like for real, when you're lifting weights, you can get out of breath. It's not as intensive as going for a long run or a sprint, but you're still working your system. So if you wanted to add some kind of like some kind of cardiovascular healthy activity, what would I recommend? Because a lot of you are going to say, well, if you say cardio is bullshit, then what should I do? Well, obviously lifting fucking weights, jabroni, and doing yoga. So if you are not doing weights and you're not already doing yoga, I don't think you should be doing cardio. If you're extremely out of shape, you're extremely overweight, you should not be doing cardio. Get off this fucking impact. Oh, but it's an elliptical. Stop just going crazy, moving your body. I mean, can you see some progress? Sure, but let's work on the mobility. Let's work on you controlling your body in space, not just getting exhausted because you're moving your arms and your legs really fast. Let's start doing the most effective things in the gym. And that's why someone like myself can minimize my exercise time because I'm very efficient. I know what I'm doing and I do what I need and I don't do extra and I don't do less. So I know how to maintain. Of course, I have experience. I know my body. I pay attention. I'm a fitness expert. I know how to do these things. I know how to execute the exercises. I understand my nutrition. I've tried it. I've, tactfully, narrowed it down. And I'm almost hesitant sometimes to call myself a fitness expert. Honestly, I don't like the ego aspect of it, but I do because relative to in my field, I would consider myself an expert. But at the same time, when it comes to your body, you are an expert of your body more than I am. I can guide you in the right direction. I can give you hints. I can give you suggestions. I can help with certain exercises, but you're going to know your nutrition better than I would. You're going to know what your body reacts to because you are you. So when it comes to fitness, it's almost not so much being an expert and then someone else is stupid and unknowledgeable. It's you have fitness. Like if you were a carpenter, you would be an expert carpenter, or you better well should be, or you're not going to be a very good carpenter. But you're a human and you have fitness, whether it's low fitness or higher quality fitness. You need to be an expert at fitness. You need to be an expert at fitness because you're a human being. So to say a fitness expert, really, that's why a lot of my things that I talk about, it's suggestions. Try what I'm doing, try what I'm doing, try doing this, eliminate this because I've done it and it works for me and it's worked for others. So I push that more and more. And when I see these patterns of tons and tons and tons of people seeing amazing results with a certain style of training, with a certain output, it only makes sense, right? It only makes sense. Well, let's push that. That might mean something really, really powerful. That might really be working. That might be something that really does work. So let's go a little bit harder on that. And for other things that don't work, that have proven to not work, okay, maybe that doesn't work that well. Maybe that's not something we should. Maybe that's not something we should pursue and keep working towards. So I don't think anyone should be doing cardio. Really, I don't think anyone. You can quote me on this. I don't think anyone should be doing cardio if they're not doing weights and yoga, because the benefits of yoga, and I talk about yoga a lot, because the benefits of yoga are so amazing. You're upside down, you're getting that circulation, you're using gravity, upward dog, downward dog, you're twisting, you're mobilizing. You're doing so much amazing good for not just your cardiovascular system, but your lymphatic system, your digestive system, your nervous system, you know, your skin, everything benefits from yoga. Everything benefits from yoga. And then you have the benefits of resistance training. You have the benefits to the skeletal system. You have the benefits to the soft tissue system, the muscular system, as well as yoga, of course. You have benefits for the psychological system, the nervous system. You have benefits for the lymphatic system. You have all those things with weights too, in a different method, right? Because a different type of stress. It doesn't mean that you can't do any cardio, and it doesn't mean that you shouldn't do any cardio. So I'm not saying that never do cardio. It's evil. It's going to hurt you. Notice how the title says cardio doesn't work. And that's kind of like a little bit of a grab because I wanted to catch your attention. And it doesn't work for what most things that you want. That's really what I'm saying, is that for most of the things that you are coming to me for assistance, for help, having questions, for most of you, it's not cardio. That's the answer. For most of you, for what you want, whether you want to look a certain way, you want to feel a certain way, you want to have certain things, you want to build a certain physique, for most of you, cardio is not the answer for what you want. And that's just a straight fact. That's my experience. That's what I see. That's just what I notice from everything that you're asking me. Cardio is just not the answer. That's not what I see. I just do not see that as the answer for most of you. And that's from the experience of answering hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of messages personally myself every single day. Every single day. So anytime you don't see me here on the daily, I'm not doing Instagram stories or Snapchat. I'm not, I'm not on the phone. I'm not working out, eating, or pooping. I'm answering messages all the time. And I rarely, if ever, would I say cardio is the answer, not at the expense of yoga and not at the expense of weight training. So if you are obsessed with cardio, you absolutely love nothing more, like your lifeblood is running. You just have the biggest passion for running, then enjoy your life. You only live once. Do what you're passionate about. However, how the fuck ever, if you are complaining that you're not happy because you want to build muscle, how am I going to build muscle? But I love to run. It's like you have to pick one. What's more important to you? Do you want to run or do you want to build muscle? Okay, if you want to build muscle, let's do everything in your power to do that. Or shut up and deal with the results you get from running while you're lifting weights. And you might have that struggle or that back and forth where your body might not put on as much size. And that's just the tug of the cock, fam. You're not going to be able to do everything at once. You're not going to be able to drop a ton of body fat, build a ton of muscle, get all this stuff, improve your swimming and your running and all this. If you're brand new to fitness and you're very overweight, everything seems better relatively, but you're not going to get huge and get shredded. Ain't going to happen. Ain't going to happen. That's why people go through phases and training phases. And that goes into periodization, which we might talk about tomorrow or the next day. I want to talk about in the next couple episodes. But periodization and how to change your program up and how to alter your program and how to manipulate it, that is something that's really important. And that's another thing that most people fuck up on and don't program design well, and then they get hurt or they don't get the results that they want. And a lot of that is just program design and poor or lack of program design. So that's something else. Arnold never did cardio. No, I think he did. I think Arnold, he used to run. Yeah, but when you start taking anabolic steroids, that's where people say, "Well, bodybuilders do tons of cardio." Yeah, but they're taking exogenous hormones that keep their muscle bellies and their muscle tone and their muscle mass at unnatural levels. So the purpose of their cardio is to get as much water, as much shit away between the muscle and the skin as possible so they can look lean on stage. Bodybuilding is not for health. Bodybuilding as a competition, bodybuilding as a sport is not a healthy sport. It's not for health. It's to develop the body as proportionately large, depending on what class you're doing. And of course, blah, 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 whatever the judges want. Okay. That's what bodybuilding is. That's what fitness competitions are. They're not for health. So don't confuse health with bodybuilding. When I say the fitness industry, I say I'm including everything, but bodybuilding gets very twisted and twisted up. People mistake looking lean and having that kind of a physique with health, and that's just not the case. That's nothing, 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 nothing close to the case. Bodybuilding is different than normal life. It's not normal life, but the way I call bodybuilding is proportionate training. The classic sense of bodybuilding, when you're training, no matter how big you want to get, no matter how big your muscles are, you're evenly developing the muscles proportionate to one another and with even strength and leverage systems and all that stuff. So I believe I call myself a bodybuilder. I don't compete though. You don't have to compete to be a bodybuilder. You also don't have to be a professional soccer player to play soccer, do you? So you have to start thinking about things like that too, fam. You know, let's take some questions. What do you think? What do you think about cardio? What experience do you have with cardio? How about that? Those of you that are watching live, what's your experience with cardio? What's your experience? Let's see. Deborah, you have a routine. You earned your position. You look nice. And Oh, you're talking about when I was talking about the expert thing. Well, thank you. I'm assuming it looks yeah, it looks like a positive comment. Let's see. Shock the system. When eating at a deficit, Holly on Facebook, when eating at a deficit to lean out a bit, is it normal to cut out some volume to aid in recovery, or is that obvious? Well, if you're dieting down, if you're eating sub maintenance calories, you're gonna lose strength. And I get that's another one, fam. That's another one that I get all the time. Everyone's asking me all the time, I want to lose weight, but I want to keep strength. It's not going to happen. This isn't Willy Wonka's fitness paradise. Like, if you lose weight, you're going to lose strength. If you're trying to cut, you're going to lose muscle, you're going to lose fat. If you're bulking, you're going to gain muscle and you're going to gain fat. All right. You can follow the holy grail and keep on looking and watching these people talk about lean bulking. Have fun wasting so much extra time. This fucking lean bulk bullshit. If you want to gain, you don't have to get fat, but gain. You want to cut, then fucking cut. But stop having these mixing goals. You can't do some of these things at the same time. And if you do, it's going to come out pretty shitty. It's going to look pretty shitty. Or you're going to have maybe a half-assed result on both ends. And you don't want that. If you want great results, you got to go hard in one direction. And that's what she said. I run 3 miles a year. What? Oh, fitness test for the Navy. Ha! I love it. I do it when I have to, when I'm forced to by law. I do cardio to warm up before a workout, but I don't ever go to the gym for cardio. Only people do people really do that? Yeah, of course they do, man. Of course. I warm up with cardio too. Not every time. I do a little mobility series. I'll do some dead hang, the upward, downward dog. I do my little activation warm up. And a lot of times I'll go to the gym, like, I don't feel like going on the stepper, the step mill with the stairs going through. Sometimes I do for like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and I just can't take it anymore. I'm like, "All right, I'm done." I keep telling my girl to cut out the cardio and just stick to the weights. She doesn't listen. Yep. And she won't change either. You could have her watch that episode. You can have her message me on Facebook or something, or DM me on Instagram, and I'll tell her if she doesn't listen to you. If you want like another voice in there, yeah, she won't change. Most people that just stick to cardio don't change. And it's not that they don't want to. It's not that they're not good people. It's not that they're not inspired. It's not that they are not disciplined, because a lot of people are disciplined as fuck with their cardio. Have you seen these fucking animals in the gym? Have you seen these fucking cardio animals that are there 2 or 3 hours a day doing cardio every fucking day? I don't think anyone, there are a few people, honestly, there are a few people as dedicated and disciplined as the cardio junkies. If only they took the same discipline and consistency and they applied it to fucking weights and yoga. It's amazing. It's amazing. They even run to their car. It's amazing how consistently I see. And you know why they're so consistent? Because it's fucking easy. Everyone's going to complain. Listen up, fam. Everyone's going to fucking complain about cardio. Everyone's going to complain, I hate cardio. I hate this. I hate that. But then they go and they do an hour of it. So you hate something. It takes a long fucking time and it's not that effective. I don't know why people still do this. I don't know why people still fucking hammer at these cardio machines. They just hammer away at these fucking cardio machines like, like it owes them money. Shit, if you want to get in shape and you want to fucking look good and you want to metabolize fats, you want to have more mobility and you want to have more flexibility and range of motion, yoga and lift some weights. Game over, sealed and delivered, done. If you have extra time and you really want to do cardio because you're just going to fucking bust a nut if you don't, well, or you bust a nut only if you do, then go fucking do some cardio. Or bust a nut for your cardio. How about that? Lift weights, do yoga, have sex, done. Eat, sleep, shit. Life is good. That's it. How do you feel about HIIT training? Lifting weights is HIIT training. You're going hard for a set and you're resting. You're going hard for a set, you're resting. Like the sprinting, shifting back and forth, running, battle rope, and then go over here, flip a fucking tire. We're going to do an episode on tire flips. Oh, for those in the podcast, I'm like wiping my face with disgust. This fucking tire flipping I don't know what is going on. I don't know what is going on. Everyone's trying to all right, if you're talking about functional training, and everyone's talking about when you talk about CrossFit, you talk about all this shit and this HIIT stuff and these battle ropes and pushing fucking sleds. Okay, I understand the pushing part. And the I don't know, man, like your body will adapt to the task at hand. What the fuck is the purpose of a tire flip? How many of you work at how many of you work at a rubber recycling plant? Anyone? Anyone work at a tire recycling center that's just flipping tires all the fucking time and that's how they train? Like what's the fascination of a tire flip? Do deadlifts. Do some fucking deadlifts. It's a similar movement. It's a similar movement. I understand. It's a similar movement. You want to know why people get so fucking hurt doing it? Because they don't have mobility. They don't have flexibility. They don't have range of motion. And when you do a deadlift, there's a reason, and I'm going to rock a few of your worlds. A lot of you probably don't even know this. There's a reason why all the bumper plates, right? Like those CrossFit, those Olympic plates that are different colors, the 10 pounders, there's a reason why they're all the same size in diameter. So the bar starts at a consistent height. Because when you start reaching down for a deadlift or for a tire flip, the lower you go, if you're stiff, you're going to start rounding your back. Your knees are going to buckle in, your feet are going to flatten, and your neck is going to be all jacked up because of your sternocleidomastoid. Most of you don't know what the fuck I just said. Read a book. No, I'm just kidding. Just watch a Daily Swole. But all this shit, the clavicular, everything's so fucking tight. I see these people that are so overweight, they're bending over and they look like a fucking dog taking a shit and they're trying to flip a tire. Yeah. Good luck with old L4 and L5 there, Jim Brony. Good luck with that shit, Captain CrossFit. Everyone flipping tires doesn't practice mobility. It comes back to yoga. Like I said, yoga. All right. If you want to do yoga, like if you love fucking tire flipping, if you love tire flipping, it all comes back to what makes you happy. If nothing makes you happy in the world, like flipping a big old circular tire, then go ham. Go fucking ham and enjoy. I encourage, and what I'm going to leave you with is me encouraging each and every single one of you to step back and look at what you're doing for your training and does it map to where you want to be with your fitness? Is tire flipping going to give you a six pack? Is it going to take you closer to that direction? It's possible. It actually is possible. It's not like the most horrific exercise. It's just not as controlled. There's a lot of chaos. And, one of the big things I always talk about is injury. One of the major things that will set you back and keep you from getting to where you want is injury. And a more controlled exercise or form of exercise combined with yoga and mobility is better for keeping you consistent and not injured. So look at what you're doing. Is that even? Is that even? Are you getting the results, or would you be getting, or will you be getting, whether it's from what you hear me talk about on this show, from what is proven? And a lot of people that do tire flipping, they lift weights, they do bodybuilding stuff. And of course, everyone's different genetically, but what are you doing and is it going to take you where you need to go? And sometimes you might not know because you'll see someone who's flipping a tire that looks shredded and big and muscular. But I want to keep something else to you in mind. Remember those Bowflex commercials? They might still be going on. I don't know. I don't watch TV. But any of those commercials where you see these shitty fucking exercise products, I'm not saying Bowflex is shitty, but any of these exercise products, right, where they get a fitness model. We've talked about fitness models. Most, if not all of them, especially those ones in the videos and stuff, are taking anabolic steroids and or they didn't build their bodies with a fucking Bowflex. They didn't. Those guys are always like, get a Bowflex, just 4 payments of $599.99. The guy's like, boom, and it goes in, it's red. It's like, build your biceps, chest, back, and even your legs with the easy attachments on the Bowflex fuck yourself in the ass system. Order now and only pay shipping and handling. You'll even get a free reach around. Order now. Shipping. Then you get that fucking disclaimer at the end where it's like, this doesn't do shit. 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 It doesn't work. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. Don't work. Save your money. Save your money. Save your money. Bye bye. That's what it says. Fucking shit. All right. So that's my rant. Look, if you love something, you love kayaking, you love, I don't know, climbing ropes. If you love that stuff, okay. But if you're trying to get shredded abs, let's start doing the things. And the reason why bodybuilding is so effective, the reason why bodybuilding is so effective is because of your body's connection within itself, the neuromuscular connectivity. When you are concentrating and focusing your energy and doing concentrated stress and tension, as in a bodybuilding style lift, like you're doing even concentration curls, they're called, the fucking exercise is called a concentration curl. And we'll do some more we'll do episodes on specific exercises too coming up. You are focusing all your energy and all your strength and all your mental capacity. You're firing all the motor neurons, the motor units, and all those that are, scientifically, inclined, and you've studied some of this stuff, anatomy and everything. You are synchronizing, you are activating essentially all these different aspects of your neuromuscular system, and they're focused. When you're doing macro movements, sure, it's functional. I mean, climbing up a rope, I can climb up a rope. I can do it. Enough to save my life. Like, do I need to climb up a rope all the time? No, I never have to. I've never been in a situation, I don't think I've ever been in a situation where I've needed to climb up a rope. I think, and there's a famous, I don't know who said this. So you can look it up. But great quote. You should be strong enough and fit enough, or something like that. You should be fit enough to be able to save your own life. And I thought that was fantastic. Because when you think about what you do every day, you're going to adapt to that. If you want a certain physique, you need to train that way. But I do think everyone should be able to save their own life. You should be able to swim. If your boat capsizes or you're taken out to sea, you should be able to swim well enough and be fit enough to save your own life. Should you be an Olympic, swimmer? I don't know. Would that save your life if you're in the middle of the ocean? I guess maybe it could. But for that off chance you're in the middle of the fucking ocean, I think you're just shit out of luck. You could be an Olympic swimmer and get like halfway to the dock and then a shark eats you. So, I mean, how is all that training, right? But if you had to climb, let's say you had to climb the side of a wall, you do a pull-up. Let's say to climb up on a building or a ledge. You should be able to do that. You should be able to push yourself up off the ground or push something with your legs. Like, you should be strong enough to be able to function in this world and to survive. Now, to what degree? Everyone's different. Everyone's going to have their own degree and their own level of what that means to them. Like, if you live in the wilderness, okay, you might need to have more strength and more skills in certain areas than someone that lives in an urban environment. But my point is this, fam. If you love swimming, then swim. I think you should be able to swim, but I don't think you should necessarily spend 2 hours a day in a pool. And I certainly don't think you should spend 2 hours a day in a pool if you want to build muscle, if you want to get abs. And I'm telling you this in this way because that is the answer that I get. I want to get more ripped. I want to have more mobility. I have back pain. I have shoulder pain. Hey, I'm trying to lose weight from where I was, 20 years ago. I got injured, had a few surgeries, and now I'm like, out of shape and I feel like crap and I want to be here for my kids. What do? Not flipping fucking tires. You're already fucking hurt. You're recovering from injuries your whole life. That's why you're fat and out of shape. And you're going to go flip some fucking tires? Why do you think people get hurt doing this shit? Why? Because you're climbing fucking ropes. You're an accountant. Why are you climbing ropes, yo? Why are you climbing ropes? Do you have a tree house that's way too high up? Like an adult tree house? Like, why are you climbing or why are you flipping a tire? Spartan races and warrior. Everyone's a fucking warrior. No, you're not. This is not like the ancient Incan civilization, right? We're not fighting off like the Aztecs and shit. Like, this is not the world we're living in. Our war is with stress. Our war is with pollution. Our war is with food. Our war is with our own internal happiness because we are externally materialistic with so many things. That's our war. We don't have a war really. And I think we all know well and good. And I'm not saying, okay, those of you that serve in the military, I'm not talking about that kind of war. I'm talking about like, we're not in like warrior tribes. Cause I think we all know the next time there is a war, we're all fucking gone. Like we're gone. The world as we know it is going to be gone. Like that kind of war. So we don't live in that society where we're fighting to survive. We're fighting in different ways. We're fighting mentally. We're fighting mentally. It's not about who can build a railroad fastest physically, like who has the skills and to build a railroad. Now we're using our minds. Like, how can I create content that you enjoy? And I'm talking to 4 fucking screens and everyone's messaging me and everyone's around the world. How can I, build something that helps all you people and, develops your fitness and inspires you and all this? I'm not like, I guess fitness, but like, I'm not building a railroad. I'm not tarring a roof. I'm not chopping down trees. It's just different. Life is different. And doing all this warrior savage, taking a freaking rubber mallet and hammering a tire. Oh, it's not functional at all. It is, but it isn't. Like you can do that once in a while. Why not once in a while? But I just see this as part of someone's routine all the fucking time. If you're not properly balanced, stabilized, controlled, good range of motion, a good foundation of health and fitness, at least if you're a beginner, stay the fuck away. Even most intermediates, just don't even touch it. Maybe you can build up to it. That's the real issue, right? If you're an expert and you've been training and you're fucking in amazing shape, right? Like if you're just fucking a beast and you're hammering shit and you're doing tire flips and everything like that, okay. You want to do that, that's fine. No skin off my nose. You'll also see people like the strongmen, right? They're flipping tires or lifting Atlas stones. Those guys are fucking huge, but they also aren't ripped, right? They're big, and they're fucking fat looking. They're huge and they're stupid strong. But I wouldn't say that most of you aspire to be or look like a strong man or a strong woman. Am I right? Some of you might be. I get a couple messages like, hey, I'm trying to compete in strongman. It's like, okay. But most of you don't want that. Most of you don't want that. And again, it comes back to it's fine, whatever you want. I just want you to step back and look at what you're doing. And is that really going to get you where you want to go? Are you really matching your ambition, your health? Are you weighing that in the balance as well? That's another really big issue. Are you weighing the risk and reward? So the benefits of a tire flip, in my opinion, don't outweigh the risks of a tire flip. Now, does it take risks to get great reward? In some cases, right? I think I have that on the wall behind me. Forget who said that too. With great risk comes great reward. Potentially, with great risk comes great reward. Potentially, with great risk also can come amazingly horrific disaster. So you have to weigh out the risk reward. You have to realize, okay, is flipping a tire really in my best interest? Especially if I'm starting out, especially if I've had 3 knee surgeries and 2 shoulder surgeries and I have a hernia and I have bad back and all these things. No, the answer is no. The answer is no, comma, fuck no.com. And you need to do more yoga and you need to hammer that down and fix all the shit that you've damaged, or you're going to be really sorry. And I know this is not stepping on anyone's toes because you're all a fan of my content and the way I deliver shit, but this is a sad reality. A lot of people are really putting themselves in harm's way. And does cardio have its place? Of course it does. It's a tool. Does tire flipping have its place? Of course it does. It's a tool. Does a rope climb have its place? Of course it does. It's a tool. And I've used this analogy before. It's just like a mechanic shop or a carpenter's, or like a woodmaker's, tool shed or whatever, or a gardener's tool shed. You guys all have a basement or a garage where you keep your tools. Do you go out there and use every single tool every fucking day? 98% of the things in your garage or in your toolbox get used maybe once a year, maybe if that. Or it's all collecting dust in the fucking corner and never gets used, maybe once every 10 years when you happen to redo the driveway and then you took out this big fucking, like, massive shovel, pick, whatever the fuck it is, or you're digging a hole because you're pulling up a stump or whatever. Most of the shit doesn't get used. And I know because I have closet, I have a closet that I don't even know what's in there because I never fucking go in it for anything unless storage. I really need to throw out every single piece of clothing in there because I just don't go in it to grab anything of value. So it's a tool. It's a tool. Are you using that tool too much? Are you neglecting other tools? Or are there other tools you need to purchase so you can get better results? That's also the case. Some of you don't even have the tool that you need in order to get results. So you might have to go get that tool and then get the results. And then you have that tool for always. You can always use it again. You have that skill, you can use it again. And that's it. All that stuff is a tool. It's just different tools. But too many people use the wrong tool all the time and they get hurt or they don't get results. And that's almost, I wouldn't say they're equally as bad, but that's, one's stalling progress and kind of sending you back with an injury. And the other one is just you're spinning your wheels. And I don't think either one is effective. And if they're avoidable, and that's the other thing, if they're avoidable, oh my God. If it's avoidable, whew, man, that's really something you gotta avoid. I love your beard, you fucking sexy bastard. Oh yeah. Discipline or motivation? Well, discipline, because motivation's bullshit. So discipline 110%. Fuck motivation. Fuck motivation. Doesn't exist. Inspiration, passion, discipline. Fuck motivation. Don't even think. Don't even wait for it. You're not going to be motivated. And if you are motivated, you're going to lose it pretty quick. Girls like guys with skills, bow hunting skills, computer hacking skills. Girls like guys like, yeah, well, that's true. Napoleon. God. Girls like that stuff. Oh, computer like a ninja. I could be a ninja. Yeah, I could be a ninja too. Don't forget about Arnold. Yeah. Could you elaborate on it? No, I've done so much content on motivation being bullshit. Discipline, you have to do it. You're not going to feel like it every day. Motivation's a feeling or related to a feeling, and discipline is getting it done because it needs to get done for you to get a result. And you're not going to feel like it every day. No one does. Someone asked me, how do you stay motivated all the time? And I say, I don't. I don't. I'm not motivated all the time. Right now, I'm fucking starving, but I'm still banging out a badass show and we're crushing it right now. And I'm hungry as shit. So there's always things that I could be doing or that I want to do that I don't do in favor of other things. You have to do things that need to get done. If you have a goal and you have, a direction and you have something you want to accomplish, you need to do A, B, and C to get D, E, and F and X, Y, and Z. You have to do it. If you need to do certain things to get a certain result, then you need to keep going. You need to keep doing that. Best tool is my foam roller. Hell yeah, it is. How much cardio should we do? Oh, we just did you see the cat? Did you see the title, right? Title of the episode says cardio doesn't work. I do only 15 minutes. I'm just joking. I do only 15 minutes at the end of my training with high resistance or high incline. You could walk on an incline. I mean, going on a higher incline, just doing a little walking, that's fine. How much cardio should you do? None if you want to. Do a little bit. A little bit. I mean, if you're doing your weights and you're doing your yoga, you can add some cardio. If you love it and you just can't imagine not doing cardio, if you just feel that if you skip cardio, you're not going to get any results, then do some cardio. Hey, whatever floats your boat. And guess what, fam? If you do cardio and you get results, was it because of the cardio? I doubt it, but possibly, or in part. If you don't get results, did the cardio help? Obviously not. So if you do it and you get results, you might attribute it. Honestly, you might attribute it. And I think a lot of people attribute. Oh, thanks for the host, Clava. I appreciate it on Twitch. Thank you. Some of you may have had experience where you lost weight or got in great shape and you're doing cardio. Was it the cardio, or were you super consistent? Were you lifting weights really hard? Were you eating on point? Were you going every day? Were you sleeping well? Were you hydrating well? Was it all the cardio? Did the cardio have a lot to do with it or a little to do with it? And it was a more like other factors? Just a thought. Just a thought. It's possible. It's possible. Short term goals or long term goals, both, and a vision. You're asking very general questions. I would recommend, honestly, from what you're asking me, check out, was it my page? It was on my Facebook page, but you can go to either ebook.swolenormous.com, or you might see it somewhere in one of the comments or posts, but you could either DM me too. You'd want to check out my ebook, 7 Pillars of Swole, because I talk all about that stuff. And I've also talked about that stuff also in like the other 734 episodes. So those are pretty general questions. Good questions. Good questions though. I'm not hating on it, by the way. But that's all. We've beaten that into the ground. We still beat it. We still beat it. We can't go without beating it, can we now, fam? Let's see here. My right hand is my best tool, but I love the but I love the leg machines. Nice. I'm motivated to get up, dress up, and show up as long as you do it. Doing yoga correctly is my cardio. Look, I don't care if you want to use the word motivation. I don't care if you're motivated or not. Just fucking do it. Like if you do it, you can do whatever you want, call it whatever the fuck you want. But bottom line, if you're not doing it, then it doesn't matter if you call it cardio, doesn't matter if you call it inspiration, doesn't matter, or motivation, whatever it is. If you're not doing it, then it doesn't fucking matter. So the first off, you need to do it, and then you can figure out afterwards what you want to call it, right? I agree. I want to do enough. I want to do enough cardio so I can last a couple rounds if I have to. Um, okay. Well, I mean, if if you box, you can do all the jump roping and cardio you want. You get in the ring, you're still gonna be fucking wiped out. It's a whole different animal when you're actually in a fight. Plus, you get adrenaline. Like you'll probably be fine. But fine, do cardio, fam. You can do cardio and not overdo it, but some just don't depend on it. And think about what I'm really saying. I'm not saying you can't do it. I'm not saying it's evil. I'm not saying people that are in shape or someone that has what you want in terms of a physique, that they don't do cardio, but it really doesn't work as well as everyone touts it. And it really gets way too much. It's like supplementation. It gets way too much attention. It gets way too much focus rather than the things that really, really, really do work and are really, really good for the body and really good for longevity. So remember, we're not just lifting weights and sitting around and just fucking being lazy. We're doing yoga. We're increasing range of motion. We're getting our body, our heart below, our head below our heart. We're doing inversions. We're doing all sorts of different twists. So you're getting a lot of cardiovascular benefits from yoga. And you just don't need, and trust me, if you have ever practiced yoga, tell me that ain't some fucking cardio. Tell me you didn't feel like you just, took a shower. So you push yourself with yoga. You don't need to run. You feel invigorated and wipe the fuck out. Truth be told, I used to kill myself on the treadmill. Following Papa Swole changed my view. Now I've gained muscle and lost 14 pounds. Still a long ways to go, but it's going to happen. Hell yeah, Brian. Proud of you, man. Good for you. Good for you. And not just because you said you stopped on you kicked off the cardio, but that you're getting results. That's all I want. I want you all to start, spreading your wings and thinking differently and finding a new path. Because if you're not where you're at, if you're not where you want to be, then there are some other options there for you. And don't feel like you have to be forced into a corner. You're not forced to do cardio because other gym bronies do cardio like crazy. Where do I go to find a really good yoga routine? I mean, you can check your local studio if you have one. If you don't have one accessible, my private site, Swolenormous X, has a multitude of yoga classes, and I'm uploading them regularly. I have those of you that are watching that are Swolenormous X members, I have a level 3 class that I'm going to be uploading this weekend, and also a new mobility workout that I did for the vault, and I'm going to get that uploaded this weekend. So, yeah. So, Nathan, if you're interested in doing some of the classes that I have in the site, you can check it out, swolenormousx.com, or you can send me a message on Facebook. I'm happy to answer any questions you might have. What about activities like chopping wood or sledgehammer swings? They seem to get a lot of hype. Is there any merit to the hype? It's similar to cardio. It's cardiovascular activity. It's with your arms. You're doing a hammer, boom, boom, boom. It's cardio. It's a little bit more intensity, I suppose. But so if it's a little bit of a higher intensity, you're essentially if it's higher intensity, you're working harder in a shorter period of time. Higher intensity, shorter duration. And that works more energy systems that are going to fire type 2 fibers, are going to work those fast twitch fibers, are going to build more muscle because if you're working at a high intensity, but there's not much resistance, you're not going to really develop much muscle. But if there's more resistance, then you start getting into some interesting stuff. So if you're picking up a heavy fucking sledgehammer and you're using it, like you can build muscle. Are you going to get concentrated, bulging, bodybuilding, physique style muscles? No. You know why? Because you're not doing bodybuilding. You're not doing physique style training. And that's the difference. Do you want to be good at things like a sledgehammer? Maybe you do. Then I would suggest practicing that, but also making sure your body is able to do those high intensity rotational movements, which can really fuck you up if you haven't been active or you have existing or pre existing injuries. I've been listening to this program for about 4 months now, and it seriously changed my results. Next level shit, man. Thanks, Kyle. Appreciate it. Hell yeah, dude. Mr. Tito, I really want to read this in a Mr. Tito accent. So if you are from a country, don't take this by offense, but I'm going to read it with the accent. How racist is that? I'm not going to, but I'm going to do it anyway. Are genetics a big or an important aspect to getting results, or is it more just an excuse, man? Stereotypical, was it Mexican? Showed up. It always reminds me of, what's funny about that? Kind of when I started doing it, I just thought of like the old cartoons, like Looney Tunes, and you had was it Speedy Gonzalez and all that? Like, think about how racist and how stereotyped those fucking cartoons were. Holy shit. If you catch any of them now, you're thinking, oh my God, everyone, it's crazy because everyone is just so much more ostentatious with like nudity and all these different things. And everyone's like, oh my God, everyone's so crazy these days. But then if you put anything like racial, like a cartoon on, you'd get fucking lynched. People would fucking be outside your door with pitchforks and, roast you, or you get fired from your job instantly. Everyone's so butthurt about words, but everything else is so depraved. So everyone's twisted the fucking brain. You're very British. I just did a Mexican accent, stereotypical Mexican accent for someone who's very, very British. I love it. All right. What was the question? I read it. I didn't even process it because I was too busy focused on the humor of it. Is genetics a big or important aspect to getting results? It can be, sure. It depends what you mean by results. Like the way your muscles look when you build them. Everyone's muscles and shape and length of their tendons and muscle bellies are going to be different. If you're talking about losing weight, well, don't forget, like if you're like, hey, well, someone has better genetics because they lost weight faster than me. Well, you didn't have to necessarily get fat to begin with. So that's an interesting thing to think about. And no one wants to address that. But just because someone lost weight and you can't, well, maybe genetically you shouldn't have gotten fat in the first place. So that could have just been like, ooh, like it's hard. And plus, when you have extra body weight, when you hit puberty, when you're young, I think there's something like, when you create more fat cells when you're younger, once you hit puberty, you always have that number of fat cells, or it's much harder to lose if you're overweight. That's why when you have these kids that are 8, 9, 10 years old that are pre-diabetic and they hit puberty at 12, 13, 14, like they're going to be overweight, like, and have struggled their entire life. Chances are, or potentially. And just a heads up on Instagram, we're about to wrap up here in a few, but on Instagram, you got a minute left before it cuts off. I'm not going to restart it on Instagram. So once Instagram shuts off, it's gone. So in about a minute, when it shuts down, you can hop over to Twitch, Facebook, or YouTube. You might want to do it now just in case when it kicks off, but we're going to wrap it up in a few. Ren and Stimpy. I love that. Stimpy, you idiot. Hi, Ren. That was a weird Stimpy. The Ren was good. Yes. There's a Pinky in the Brain, right? Almost sounds like Pinky in the Brain. Probably the same person. Thanks for that, man. I'm only 25. I weighed 331 down to 282. Long way to go. Enjoy your live videos. Thank you, Nathan. Appreciate it. Good job, man. Good job. Awesome. You lost 50 pounds. Sweet. Nick Ortiz, I was 270, now I'm 225, but I did add cardio to increase my endurance for MMA style fighting. Thoughts? Seems to be working. Sure. Look, if you're trying to get better at MMA fighting, yeah, you need your cardio. That's how it works, right? That's why people in the MMA aren't jacked, right? Of course, when you go to things like the heavyweight division, but those guys aren't like 5'3", 250, like a bodybuilder. They're just big dudes, like 6'2", like fucking Brock Lesnar and shit. Yeah, these are human monsters that are just genetically fucking big people, and they train like beasts their entire life, and they're just fucking freaks. They're huge, right? So of course it seems to be working. I mean, if you work on your cardio, what is going to happen? Your cardio is going to improve. If you run a lot, you'll get better at running. I mean, your form might not improve. You can hurt yourself, but you're going to get endurance for running. Running's not going to help you be a cyclist. That's why triathlons are a whole other thing. You take a marathon runner and put them on a triathlon, they're going to fucking lose. And vice versa. You take a triathlete who to run a marathon, they're going to lose to a marathon runner. So it's specificity. Okay. It's a principle of specificity. Your body is going to adapt to the specified or the specific stress that is put upon it. And that's how it works. So if you flip tires, if you don't get hurt, you'll get better at flipping tires. If you like to climb ropes, if you don't get hurt, you're going to get better at climbing ropes. And that's how the body works. That's how the body adapts. So take that for what it's worth. I think it's worth a lot. And I think it'll open a lot of you up to the possibility that you don't need tons and tons of cardio to fucking kill yourself. And if you're looking for some badass programming in the palm of your hand, cell phone, tablet, computer, if you have your computer in your hand, but pretty much we do with cell phones, check out my page. Check out my private site, swolenormousx.com. You get access to the private Facebook group and the website with all my programs and all my yoga classes and workouts and training and workshops and stuff. So the community is fire. And most of you watching right now, I see a lot of you that are in Swolenormous X. So shout out to the X fam. And it's a great community. So if you're looking for any of that stuff that I talked about today, if you're looking to start yoga, if you're looking to start any of this stuff and you just don't have anything near you, or you want to get it from the best, check out swolenormousx.com for all that. Or you can send me a message if you have any questions. And I will see you on the flip side. So make sure you are doing what you need to get done. End of fucking story. Get it done. Discipline. Fuck motivation. Rat in the ass. Peace, McGee's fam. Deuce Magoose. I'll see you on Swolenormous X. Papa Swolio. Out. Thank you so much for joining me for 7:35, fam. I'll see you all tomorrow for 7:36. Have a fun and safe Friday evening. Peace out. Later, Facebook and YouTube. Later, guys. Peace, peace, peace. May the gains be with you.